Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unjustified, where we always cover the truth and the facts. We cover the good, the bad, the ugly. We look at all angles on an unbiased and sometimes very unpopular opinion. Over the weekend and on Saturday, I had read like 6 or 7 hours, and I had several parts of the discovery just ready to upload for you guys. When I went to look at it and put it all together, I didn't have my mic on. Yeah, so I lost like 6 or 7 hours of total reading. And just to say the very least, I was frustrated. So I had to take a step back, regain my composure. Yeah, I was very upset. Let's get straight on into part 5 of the Chris Watts discovery. Okay, here is where we left off on part 4. So we're just going to move right along into part 5. Part 4, we left off with Officer Walje's report, and going on down, we're going to be starting on Officer Walje's notes. If I can't really make out the reading, I just leave it there for a few seconds in case you guys want to look at it, and you might can make it out, but there's a lot of their writing that I personally cannot make out. I'm also not going to be calling out full names, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be calling out house numbers, because it's all here. If you want to see it, you can, but I'm not going to personally sit there and call their names and house numbers and all that kinds of stuff out, because I just don't feel comfortable doing that. This is public record, but I still don't feel comfortable doing it. So just look at it with me, and if you want to know names, then you're going to see them. I may say first name, but just so it'll make a little sense. But not going to really say last names, and if I do, it'll just be an initial. Okay, here we go. Officer Walje's reports, handwritten reports, that is. Okay, so here he says, endangered person search warrants, May the 25th through August the 15th. His work phone, his personal phone, so they're asking for search warrants to get all the data from both of his phones from May the 25th through August the 15th. It says documents obtained so far in the investigation provide an estimated beginning of an intimate relationship evidenced by written communications Christopher Watts and Nicole Kassinger on or about June the 8th, 2018. As a result, your applicant is seeing a production of records with a reasonable time span of approximately 2 weeks prior to said date. On May the 25th, 2018, until the verified date of a recovery of the bodies, or August the 15th, 2018. And moving on down, it says, once phone data comes in, check August the 13th. And then it says, pause a couple of blocks away for 4 minutes at 14:01 hours. And that's going to be 2:01 p.m. And it tells where he sat and paused for a moment prior to meeting Coonrod. And what this is this is the day that Chris came home to see what was going on with Shanann, quote unquote. This is when the Officer Coonrod and Nicole had called him, get your ass home, something's wrong, your wife isn't here. And so before he got home, he stopped at this location and he stayed there for about 4 minutes. We now know that that location was actually like a dumpster. It was a construction zone that had dumpsters. And Chris said in his prison confession that is where he actually dumped his clothing and things like that before he got to his house that day. Okay, going on down, we're going to have Officer Albert's report. This report was filed on 8/22, and it starts out, on August the 19th, 2018, at 11 a.m., the Frederick Police Department received 4 emails from Family Heating at AOL. The emails were sent to the Frederick Police Department's email address. I reviewed the narrative of the first email, and it reads exactly as follows. I don't know her with helpful, but my ex-caregiver husband works for a company she calls ASCO. I can only assume it's the company Chris Watts works for. She said she was having an on and off affair with one of the guys that recently was dismissed, or her husband was up for his job. This is a very promiscuous, and that is not out of character. She said a guy named Chris she had been talking to coming back. This was back in May. They spoke through the calculator private message app of phones. The woman's name is Heidi Ferris, and it just sounds all too familiar not to share, as this really sounded like the guy she spoke of. She said he was married and had 2 kids. This is kind of hard to read because this lady doesn't have the best grammar and spelling. She wasn't looking for anything serious, but most of these men are with her. She also talks to them on Facebook, but mostly the hidden text app. This may be the affair that is said that be something you may want to check out. Heidi with, by her own accord, half of the company and used to work there. Well, she sounds like a real go-getter, huh? She also has been seen with Randy M., utility workers, and tattoo artists, and many others. But when I saw this and that he worked for ASCO, as they call it, I knew I needed to say something. It's worth a check. She may by now have erased any messages, but if you have his phone, I'd check for that app. It's a calculator, but if you put in a special code, it becomes a text app. Good luck, and may this poor family rest in peace. And then it says, this email is hard to read and at times does not make sense. Additionally, there was no contact information attached. At 12:21 p.m., the second email reads as follows, quote, sorry, I am partly blind. My typing skills are horrible. I hope you get the gist. End. The following 2 emails show a snapshot of contact information for a Dan Ferris, superintendent of ASCO, and also the contact information for ASCO. This is a pipe and fabrication company that appears to be a subcontractor for Anadarko. I printed out hard copies of all the emails and placed them in the case file. Nothing further at this time, Sergeant Albert. Okay, going on down, this is Officer Kenneth Dahl, and this was filed on 8/27/2018. And it reads, on August the 27th, 2018, at approximately 1:15 p.m., Sergeant Bedsaul and Officer Dahl to respond to 6432 Saratoga and talk with Jason. Jason was provided a flash drive to download videos from August the 13th between 13:15 hours, and that's 1:15 p.m., and 14:10 hours, and that would be 2:10 p.m. Jason downloaded the videos on the flash drive. Jason said that the company that he has the cameras through is Aereo. Jason said the timestamp on the video was the file name. Jason said Aereo used the Epoch Unix time code. Jason said if you put the file name into it, that it would give you the date and time the video was taken. Jason said that if the video footage that he provided is the only footage available from the camera. Jason said on the camera with a timestamp of 14:01 hours, and that's 2:01 p.m., you can see a gray truck headed north on Saratoga Trail. Jason said the other video activations are of wasp that flew into the cameras. Officer Dahl will place the flash drive in evidence. The video with the truck was uploaded to evidence.com. No further information. Officer Dahl. Well, another gray truck. Another gray truck. Isn't that a coincidence? This area is eat the hell up with gray trucks, I swear. And yes, I know they're a common truck, but come on. I mean, isn't that a little too common for one little area in a certain time span? Unless they live in the neighborhood, and obviously they don't, because all the neighbors says they're suspicious. So, come on. You don't find that just a bit odd? Just constantly a gray truck, a gray truck, a gray truck, you know, and everybody that says about gray truck, it's always suspicious to them. So yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Okay, going on down, we got Officer Bedsaul. His was filed on 8/28, 10:57 a.m. and it reads, I was on duty the day of August the 13th, 2018. Throughout the course of this case unfolding, I helped in making sure the interview room video system was functioning. There was a malfunction on the camera in interview room 1. The camera stopped operating about 10 or 15 minutes prior to Chris Watt's arrival at the police department on August the 14th. The audio is still working, and I recommended to investigation team that the interview be moved to interview room number 2, as that camera was functioning properly. Several interviews took place over the following days in both rooms. The camera in room 1 continued to go in and out throughout the entire incident. When the camera goes out, there is still audio, but the video is black. Beginning on August the 20th, I worked to download the video from the interview room system to local servers. I then converted the videos to a usable format. The videos were then uploaded to evidence.com and renamed for easier identification. The videos have been disseminated to the investigative team and the district attorney's office on an as-needed basis. Okay, going on down, this is going to be Officer Dave Egan's report, filed on 8/29 at 9:13 a.m. And it reads, in the early morning of August the 14th, 2018, I received an email from Sergeant Banks advising of a missing person call that officers on his shift had been working on. The email advised that the victim in this case and her 2 daughters had been missing and that the circumstances were suspicious. At about 8 a.m. on the 14th, I arrived at the Frederick Police Department and immediately met with Detective Baumover, who advised me that the victim was still missing and had not been accounted for. Detective Baumover briefed me on the circumstances, and we began to formulate a plan for the investigation. Shortly after 9 a.m., I established an incident command room at the police department and began to gather and coordinate resources. I continued coordination throughout the investigation and worked with assisting agencies. The incident command room was operational until Friday afternoon on August the 17th. On August the 29th, I submitted 44 pages of handwritten notes, scraps of paper with notes, and other investigative documents to Evidence Supervisor Purcell. Nothing further at this time. Okay, going on down, this is going to be Officer Egan's notes. and such that he was just talking about. And as you see, this is gonna be the actual footage of the crime scene. And this was signed off 8:15 at 5:56 p.m. And this is where Chris, shallow grave, where he had put Celeste, and where he had put Bella. Chris signed this off himself at 5:56 p.m. As you see here, here is the sheet, and there is Shanann. Chris said that he actually left the sheet over by where she was at, but he assumed that the wind just blew it. He also said that the stuffed animals that the girls had with them probably blew over here with this as well, but that is not the case. The stuffed animals were found in his truck, and he had no clue that they were in there because he thought they were left with this sheet and Shanann. And as you see, here is his signature where he signed off on 5:56 p.m. Now, it's also something to note as well that on 8:15 at 5:30 p.m. is when Nicole first met with investigators at the park to tell her quote-unquote bombshell evidence and to tell about her affair with Chris that they already knew about. You know, they found out about it at 8 a.m. on 8:15, or maybe even sooner. But it says in the discovery 8 a.m. on 8:15. But yeah, so 26 minutes before Chris signed off on this is when Nicole met with and her dad met with them for the very first time at the park, and her dad actually brought her to the park. She didn't drive a vehicle there herself. But going on down, and again, this is just going to be the same, except it's a more close-up view of it. Bella, Celeste, Shanann, and the blanket, or not the blanket, the sheet. Okay, going on down, this is going to be the Frederick Police Department Investigative Activity Report. So this is going to be people that had called in and told them certain whatever about the case. And this is Officer Egan's report, and it says, and it's got a check on 8/14 at 15:04 hours, and that's going to be 3:04 p.m. Holly C. had a Facebook message read this morning. Also, 8:14 at 1500 hours, and that's going to be 3 o'clock p.m. Crystal M. lives in the Wyndham Hill, and see, this is 11 to 10 a.m. Monday morning, she heard gunshot or loud car backfire concerned her enough that she took pictures of her clock. I don't think this had anything to do with this case, but you can't really rule out anything. But you know, as far as the autopsy said, there was nothing like that. But Going on down 8/14, 1500 hours again. And again, that's at 3 p.m. Alan D has cadaver dogs that are amazing, and he's offering them for free. 8/14 at 14:45 hours, that's 2:45 p.m. Jamie Watts, and that is Chris's sister, was talking to the media and stated she shouldn't be talking, and she's hung up. And then on 8/14 at 3:15 p.m., mother of Shanann called, and she really wanted the luggage upstairs searched because it has been untouched since the trip. So going on down, more notes. It says the vigil was Friday night. It says size. Not sure. Status, question mark. Vivint video system info 40. House and neighbor. Vehicle warrants Tuesday morning. Crescent wrench, shovel, boots, family interviews, Frankie, execute warrants, Troy McCoy, social media freeze, reports, status, question mark, Nikki, last interview, on camera interview, when did it start? Okay, going on down still, Egan, 8 till 10:30, Kirby, lazy dog, video and transaction, Matt Saylor, McCoy, Wiggins, and okay, neighborhood canvas officers was Manning, Herbert, and Albert. I think that says Manning. And then ex-husband, dog track, Perez and Lines. I'm not sure what the dog track is, but I think it's somewhere Chris and Nicole went together. But, investigators was Baumhover and Walje. House search, Lindsay and Paul. Okay, 2 p.m. roadside canvas tonight. Nikki Kassinger, 20 geosciences girlfriend, Jersey Circle, phone interviews, Arizona, view video, mom, Sandy, finances warrant, financials from Walmart, okay, neighborhood canvas, sightings, video, strange, I don't know, Bob, media press release, next door, CIAC Bolo News, Steve, Arrow, Manley, Perez, Kate, Ian, Paul, and Lindsay. And this was Patrol. And that is Nate's address, I'm pretty sure, or his old address. Okay, going on down, it's Joy, Weld, Coroner, Lazy Dog, workers saw crescent wrench and torque, maybe. Girlfriend interview, Serby 319, 39 minutes, 8, build form, Kevin, FBI DA office. It's probably Kevin Koback. FBI, out-of-state interviews, Thrive people interviews, question mark, Monday. Does it show when his phone was shut off, question mark. Notes, electronics and kept in evidence. I don't know. I think that says electron something and kept in evidence. Okay, dad, delete, celebrate, report, and do supplemental report. Notes, Decano, Firestone, X-Call for all reports, Diff and ABS, leave, lawn, I don't know. Tom, I don't know, I'm not saying. And then there's some kind of little doodle. Okay. Execute warrants, Vivint warrants, vehicle warrants, family interviews, Anadarko warrants, question mark. And the Anadarko warrants are more than likely for their phone records. That's what I'm assuming. You know, for Chris's work phone. I don't know, but phone records, emails, probably, I'm not sure. Egan, BWC, records, saved. Baumhover, autopsies at 10, debrief. I think that says interview with McCoy. Dump site first. Police department, I don't know. Peer support. FBI Baumhover, social media. What? Yeah, that's what I say. What? Lazy dog, which one? Evidence, preservation of. Run videos. Data plan and debrief. Formal interview records, same over and over and over. Blood. I'm not sure. Oh, that says blood. I don't know what those two say. Sit on house. Problems, what? How? Condition. Always that way. Tracking software. Work and personal phones. 136. CWB Saratoga. Nicole report. Friend at conference Scottsdale. Couple of days. 1:48 a.m. drop off. Husband Chris Watts. Shanann Watts. Yes. Married 2012. Alarm log. Alarm system. unedited news footage, debrief, awards. Okay, it looks like these has all been checked off and marked through, but I think I can still see it. And if I can read it and make it out, that's what we're going to do. So, next of kin, media, tomorrow, or search warrant, house, baby monitor, kids' beds, victim advocates, charges, Vivint, tomorrow, Scott, video 12 a.m. 8:10 until 12 a.m. 8:15 present. McDonald's, Conoco, Home Depot. 2825 Saratoga, Chris Watts, Shanann Watts. Victim husband, Nicole Friend, Bella 4, Celeste CC3. Friends, something. DA's office call, canvas area, formal interview, cell tracking software, work or personal phone, alarm information and log, timeline, DA's office, his phone, GPS on truck, his work info, guns, video times, McDonald's, Conoco, and not sure, media release, news, Facebook, Nextdoor, CIAC, Bolo, pharmacy follow-up, hotels in the area, insurance policies, finance records, his and hers, ATM, all of her social media. Okay, going on down, this is going to be the actual flyer that they were handing out doing the neighborhood canvas, and also have that neighborhood canvas is very interesting. I just pulled out one that was, it's raw and uncut, and again, gray trucks, this time gray truck, small gray truck with a white camper shell. Small white vans. Oh, you're going to see it all because that's going to be uploaded just after this. Make sure you watch it because those neighbors tell some very telling things. You know, I always thought Betty was like the most, wow, what the hell, you know, but you're going to be shocked when you hear 2 or 3 more that had some pretty interesting tips that to give them as well. And this is it. This is the actual one. And you will see them using this in the neighborhood canvas. And that's the most recent pictures of Shanann at that time. Of course, this one was taken while she was in North Carolina. I'm not sure if she's at her parents' house or where she's actually at here. But this is when she was in North Carolina. So this was just like soon before everything happened. And of course we got him. This is going to be a screenshot from the Denver 7 infamous porch interview. And then another screenshot of that interview. And this note is written from the bottom up, so we're going to start there too. It says 20 feet deep, unsure how full hatch. Okay, this is going to be what Chris told them about what the girls were in. Girls had clothes, PJs. Shanann in blue panties, and this is what gets me, only. Okay, why would he say that? Shanann in blue panties only. Okay, we all know that Shanann had on a shirt as well. But he didn't say, I think she just had on blue panties. No. He said that's all she had on. Well, That really gets to me, and I'll tell you why. Because as we know from the other parts of the discovery, we've already been through the evidence reports, her shirt was found that she was in. And so she was absolutely wearing a shirt as well. So why would he say only? The shirt she came home in was never found. Now, the black leggings she had on was turned into evidence, but the shirt she had on that shows in the doorbell camera with, the gray shirt, and it said love across it, well, that she had on was never found. It was never put into evidence, but her black leggings were. Okay, when she was found in that shallow grave, she had on the other shirt that we talked about in evidence, which was the one that looked like a heart, and you know the shirt I'm talking about. Obviously, she had that on too, but Chris specifies right here that Shanann had on blue panties only, like only. I find that odd, weird. Why wouldn't he say blue panties and a shirt, or panties and a shirt, or, something? But he specifies the word only. So it's like he didn't really know what the hell she had on. How do you mistake for a woman having on a shirt or not having on a shirt? Now, it could be done maybe with a guy, but for a lady, no. You wouldn't specify only. That really gets to me. It gets on my nerves every time I look at that. But anyway, going on down to Officer Herbert's report. It was filed on 8/29. Says on Tuesday, August the 14th, I, Officer Herbert of the Frederick Police Department, reported to work on my scheduled workday. Upon arrival, I was assigned to assist with efforts to locate a missing mother and her 2 small children. I was briefed by Detective Baumover of 3 missing Watts family members. Detective Baumover advised me Shanann Watts, Bella Watts, and Celeste Watts were all missing as of Monday, August the 13th. I was assigned to assist with conducting a canvas search in the West Windham Hills subdivision. I assisted by canvassing the neighborhood and surrounding houses of the Watts residents. I contacted several residential homeowners and handed out flyers. At the time I was conducting the canvass, I was trying to see if anyone had seen where the Watts family members might be or had gone. At the time of the canvass, I did not have any information if they left on foot or in a vehicle. While talking to several residents in the area, I was also able to locate several houses with a door ring camera or other types of video cameras. I logged the residents down that were not home and may have had video footage of the area. The few videos I was able to observe did not show Shanann, Bella, or Celeste walking on foot. While conducting my canvass in the neighborhood, I was not able to gather any evidence of their whereabouts. I was not able to find anyone who saw or heard regarding the location of the missing Watts members. My notes were turned in with my report. End of report. Nothing further at this time. Officer Herbert. Okay, going on down. This is going to be his handwritten notes. And they go as follows. Monday morning, 8:13. Shanann Watts, 2 daughters, Bella Cece, 3 and 4 years old. Pink Disney nightgowns. 2825 Saratoga Trail, 2905 house with camera. Okay, now this is going to be the house numbers that he visited. He's actually just going over what he either found out or if they weren't at home. And here I'm not going to give full names, of course, or house numbers, but I will run through it briefly. Okay, house 1, no answer, no cameras. Next, no answer, no cameras. Next, tires dirty. Was not very friendly. Ring and camera. I'm not sure about this word, but this is unusual. 5 a.m. And he leaves at 5:30. Okay, this one, camera was not on. Does not cover the house. No info, no camera. No answer, no camera. No answer, no camera, no info. No answer, no camera, no info. And here's Betty. Quiet. Hardly have the lights on. Still gray. Truck she was talking about. That little small truck. And she got back at 6:45. She went to the gym. And she said that the truck was still there at around noon. But if you listen to her interview, people's noon is different depending on what time they eat lunch, what time they get up. And from the way Betty was kind of talking, her noon is like between 11 and 12. So she said that the little still gray truck was still there at around noon. I had several people comment, and again, I haven't been able to actually reply to all the comments like I like to, and I'm going to try to take like a day to sit down and reply to comments. I appreciate all you guys' comments so much. You've really given some really good, insightful thoughts. I really enjoy reading them. I'm going to have to go back and do some replying on them, but I do read them when they come across my phone, but I don't always got time to just jump in there and reply, but I do try. But some of you have said that, why didn't Nate's camera pick up the truck if it was in front of Chris's? Well, the only answer I can kind of give for that, if you will actually watch the camera footage of Nate, I believe that vehicle could have been maybe sitting in front of that very annoying tree that's blocked half of everything you can see of Chris's truck in the garage. So I believe where Betty may have been talking about, where that truck was parked for so long, could have been there where that wonderful annoying ass tree is, and it would have blocked the view of the truck. I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, because when I was getting those comments about why didn't Nate's camera pick up his truck, well, I went back and I looked at Nate's video footage, and yeah, you can't really see anything for that tree. So that's quite possibly why we couldn't see the truck. It's unfortunate. That tree likes to be right in the way of everything. But anyway, okay, and then this one says 3 or 4 months ago. Day, ring, front. Okay, white van. Looks like a minivan utility vehicle. And it was light outside when she saw it. So there's a little white utility-like minivan that neighbor reported seeing. And this one says, good family, good dad. No camera, no info. No cameras. No info, no cameras, no cameras, no cameras. Did not contact. And so going on down, this is Patricia Cochran, filed 8/29, and she says on Monday, August the 13th, at approximately 9 a.m., I took a call from a person identifying herself as Nicole Atkinson, requesting a well-being check of a friend. I transferred the call to Weld County Communications, and Tuesday, August the 14th, and Wednesday, August the 15th, I took calls between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., transferring the calls to Detective Baumover, Sergeant Bob Bedsaul, and Sergeant Ian Albert. Any notes regarding these calls were saved for this case and attached to this report. Nothing further. Okay, going on down, this is going to be Patricia's notes. And it says this person, possible sighting 8/13/2018 at 10 a.m., Sprouts Market. Dark-haired woman with two blonde and fair-skinned girls in the grocery cart. And obviously we know that was not them. Weld County, 8/24/2018, 8:30 a.m. Family Court, summons to return. Okay, this is when Chris and Shanann, they did have a court date on 8/24 at 8:30 a.m. Okay, Leonard King, attorney, Scotland County, North Carolina, in reference to life insurance. If you don't know who Leonard King is, that is Shanann's ex-husband. And he did say that when they were married, that they both had, life insurance policies. And he said when they divorced that he dropped his and he just assumed that she did hers as well. Okay, going on down, Officer Brent Manley's report, and it was filed on 8/30, and it reads, on Friday, August the 14th, I was asked by Commander Egan to do an area search of the 6500 block of Black Mesa Road. I was advised that we had information that Chris Watts was at this address for several minutes, and I was tasked to see if there was anything pertaining to the case. I arrived on scene and spoke with a general contractor overseeing the housing development. He asked if I was there for a report of missing tools, and I explained that I was there just looking in the area for anything that may be related to our ongoing case. He explained that the dumpsters are emptied every Thursday, but if needed, the trash company would come on Tuesday as well. Later in the day, it was confirmed that the dumpster was emptied on August the 16th, and the contents were taken to the Erie landfill. According to the driver, the truck was emptied on top of the Erie landfill, but no direct locating. I walked around the property and was not able to find anything relating to the case or that looked out of place. I spoke to workers in the area, but there was nothing discovered. Some trash in a construction dumpster or personal belongings would not be odd to the crews as they deal with it on a weekly basis. I looked in several dumpsters in the area, and most of them were nearly empty and only had what appeared to be construction material. While in the area, I drove past 6432 Saratoga, and I noticed cameras on the house that pointed towards the roadway. I spoke to the homeowner, Jason, and he provided me a copy of the recordings of his security camera. It took Evans a while to get the video, and when it was on a USB drive, Officer Dahl was able to get the recording and turn that over to evidence. End of report, Sergeant Manley. Okay, going on down, and this is going to be Officer Bedsaul, 8:30. And it reads, on August the 14th and 15th, I served as a media liaison and also filtered through the information coming into the department. I communicated with media personnel via email as well, sending out some media updates. My handwritten notes are names and numbers of media personnel that I returned phone calls to over the 2 days, nothing further. Okay, and this is the investigative activity report. So this is some calls that he did take. And it looks like he's going to have you're probably just going to have to look at this. And I'm just going to scroll through it very slowly because I'm sorry, but I just can't make it out. Maybe you can. This is like NBC National, I believe. ABC News. I think that says Good Morning America. National Time, maybe. ABC.com. NBC.com. Jamie Watts. Times Call. Okay, going on down. And this is going to be an email from Robert to Amanda. And from Robert to many media stations and looks like newspaper, victim services, police departments, and just random news channels. It says, hello, this is the press release for the Shanann Watts case that is being inquired about. You can contact me with questions. We don't have any additional information we can release at this time. A majority of our department is working on this case. The same information is also available on the Town of Frederick's website. I will send out any updates that may be gathered throughout the day today at about 3 p.m. And I guess he just attached this BOLO report to each person as well. Each email and news channel. And this is from Sarah Ford. She thanks him, and I appreciate you talking to me. And this is from Robert to Sarah. Here is the release to the next PIO will be Sergeant Albert. Going on down, same thing, same thing. Yeah, this is the same thing, and we're probably going to see several of these because he did send it to many people. So, looks like everybody that replied back and everything, it's just going to be here. But it's pretty much everything is the same. So, I'm just going to scroll through it pretty quickly unless I see something different like this. And this one's going to be a little different. And it says, Sergeant Bedsaul, we are doing a story for air tomorrow about Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters who are missing. See that an endangered missing alert has been issued for Shanann and the girls. Is there new information that leads to that decision? Please reply with any and all updates. And Molly is from NBC News and the Today Show. It's a reply from Molly. It says, got it, thank you. We've seen references on social media to an EpiPen needed for one of the girls. Can you confirm that? And this is from Robert to Molly. It says, hello, it's mainly due to the length of time that has passed without any successful contact with Shanann. There may also be some medical concerns with the missing children. And then that's the same. Molly asking for records. And here is Robert's reply about the EpiPen. He says, I can't comment on the specific medical conditions that may exist. Thank you for understanding. And going on down. More of the same. And another bolo. And more of the same. Well, maybe we will get through this part in a moment. This one looks a little different. This is going to be from Robert to 7 News, as well as many others. And it says, "Hello, thank you for your patience, and I apologize for the tardiness. We do not currently have any more updates on this case. We will send out a release if any new information comes to light. All 3 parties are still missing, and we will continue our investigation." Okay, going on down, another bolo. Okay, going on down. Same old replies, and this one's a little different, I think. "Here is the release. The next PO will be Sergeant Albert." I think we may have done read that. Okay, going on down. Same. Another bolo. Same. Another bolo. Same. Bolo. Yeah, that's everyone replying, and when they reply, then of course it sends the attachment. This one's going to be a little different. This is, "Thank you, Sergeant. What makes this case a priority for the department? Is there something suspicious about the disappearance? When you have vehicle and last seen info, please pass it along. Thanks." And that was CBS. And here we are getting down to Officer Coonrod's report filed on September the 31st. And it reads, "As detected, this officer has submitted all handwritten notes regarding this case. The notes mainly consisted of names and phone numbers of family members, friends, and co-workers. Nothing further, Officer Coonrod." And this is just some notes. Nicole, USAA, the 12th, a taxi, and we know that he did see that there was a taxi charge on August the 12th on their USAA account. And there was a target charge on the 13th. And if I can't make it out, I'll just sit on it a minute and maybe you can. Frank and Sandra Rusak. Bella, 5 years. Celeste, 3. Chris. Nicole Atkinson. Lavelle, Texas, cloud-based. Addie Maloney, boss. Chase, USAA. Okay, and now we're going into Officer Davis's report, and this was filed on September the 1st. On 8/22/18, I received an email from Taylor Welch. In the email, Taylor stated, "After reading the affidavit, I went through my photos. I've texted Shanann in the past. I didn't know if these would be helpful, but below are photos of Cece on the baby monitor sleeping." Attached to the email were 3 photos of what appeared to be a monitor screen showing a child sleeping in a crib. I was advised by Detective Baumhover to forward the email to him. I forwarded the email to Detective Baumhover. Nothing further at this time. And then going on down, this is an email from Taylor to Brad. Shanann Watts screenshots. It says, what I just read about the baby monitor, and says on August the 17th, 2018 at 8:49 a.m., Brad Davis wrote, "Thank you. So sorry for your loss. As I said, if investigators have any questions for you, they will be in touch. Regards, Officer Brad Davis." And there was 3 images attached to the email, and this is the images that was attached. Taylor sent these in of Cece in her crib sleeping, and these photos were taken from the baby monitor, and it looks like she's just sleeping very peacefully on that one. And on this one it looks like she's just really out on her tummy, just sleeping very good. And this one as well, and that's 3 photos that were attached. Okay, we're gonna stop right here for part 5, and when we get to part 6 we're going to be going into Officer Perez's report, and he had filed it on September the 2nd, so that's where we're going to be picking up in part 6. I do hope you've enjoyed part 5 and you got something out of it you didn't know before, and be looking for part 6 because it's going to be uploaded almost around the same time this one is, and this is UnJustified.